Hello, this is Cynthia from the library again. Today we're going to discuss using advanced search techniques within Google. Now, to find that, you can go to the bottom right of your screen where it says Settings, click on that, and then Advanced Search. If you have a hard time finding that link, just Google Advanced Search. Now click on the Google Advanced Search. You may remember from the last video that my example was looking at children and screen time, and I'm going to continue using that example. So you can see how Google prompts me with my search. All of these words, this exact words or phrase, any of these words, none of these words. For all of these words, I'm going to put children. And then for this exact word or phrase, I'm going to go ahead and say screen time. I want that phrase searched together. I'm not interested in a search with screen or a search with time. Now, if we scroll down, Google will let us narrow down our search even more. I can look by language. I can look by region. I'm going to go ahead and look just within the United States for this search. And I am almost there. Here we go. Can look for the last update, be the past 24 hours, the past week, the past month, or the past year. And I'm going to go ahead and say the past year. Now, we could limit our site or domain. You may know that we will often be looking at sites from a couple of different domains, or when we look at the URLs, we will see a few different endings. Most often, we'll see a .com, a commercial site, a .org, a .edu, or a .gov. .com and .org are pretty meaningless in terms of telling us whether this is a trustworthy site or not. However, if I limit my site to a .edu from an educational institution, that's a pretty good indicator that this is reliable information. I'm still going to have to use some of the techniques we discussed last time in evaluating the source, but it is a very good starting point. I could also look at the terms appearing anywhere in the page, the title of the page, the text, the URL, or in links to the page. For this, I'm going to narrow my search to the title of the page. That way, I can be sure the information I'm finding is the main focus of that website. We could look at different file types, and I'm not going to do this, but this can be useful later on. Perhaps if you learn best by looking at PowerPoint slides, you might want to limit your search to a PowerPoint. Google also lets us limit by usage rights. Once again, this will not matter for this assignment, but in your future work, either within Front Range Community College or outside, you might be interested in finding images that are free to share or modify. I'm going to go ahead and say search. And you can tell that right away I'm getting some pretty good results. Once again, these are all educational institutions. So I see things like harvard.edu, georgetown.edu, and you can continue to see Ohio State, Wisconsin, other good institutions. The shortcuts for all in title, or to have all of those words in title, is all in title : To keep a phrase together, or to search that exact word, you're going to put it in quotes. And then the shortcut to limit to a certain URL or domain would be site:/.edu. So scrolling down, these are quite good results. This is the type of information that you might want to use for your assignment. There are a few other things we could do. We could look by relevance or by date. We could look at all results, which is what we want to do, and then here this would clear our search. As you probably know, we could also look under news, under images, and for videos. Let's say I'm interested in looking within the Colorado government website. I could say children, screen time, and then use that shortcut cite : with no spaces, colorado.gov. And here I'm going to find some information that seems to mostly relate to childhood obesity levels. If you are still narrowing down your topic or unsure of which angle you would like to focus on, this can be a good help as well. Maybe I had not thought about physical activity and related that to screen time. Just looking at those results will do that for me. So I encourage you to keep an open mind as you read through your results. There are a few other things you should know about when using Google Advanced Search. Google puts a tiny word or tiny and between every word. So children and screen time. Maybe I'm interested in children or adults, but not both, and then screen time, written exactly like that. You may remember from high school math learning the order of operations. Whatever operations are within a parentheses, you would perform first. So for example, 5 plus 7 within parentheses you would add first. Search engines work the same way with parentheses. In this example, I am searching for children or adults, but not both, in screen time. And I am going to limit my search to a site.edu. Now I can see the type of results I'm getting for either one. Because this topic mainly, or how we discuss this topic mainly does revolve around children, I'm going to see most of my results still are about children and screen time. But I could possibly see some that have to do with adults as well. So that is one option to think about, especially when you are using specific phrases or synonyms. Another example that is not an academic example is, let's say you were looking up habits or tips to care for a puppy. Maybe you could say puppy, sleep, or activity. And then perhaps we're looking up for a 3-month-old puppy. So you can see how these results can also help you, or these search techniques can also help you in your everyday life. Once again, please ask your local librarian if you have any questions.